Well, it's no surprise that movie studios are going to promote their new movies coming out because they want people to see them. And many times in that marketing, they will send people to websites to check out more information about these movies so they can get excited for it, purchase tickets, etc. And the new movie Wicked coming out from Universal, which is an adaptation of the Broadway musical Wicked, is coming to theaters soon. There's even some in-park tie-ins on Universal side of things in Universal Studios. And apparently there was a URL on some of the merchandise that was sending children and others to, let's just say, not so quite safe for work website. So we're going to read this article from that park place and give some thoughts on it. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. And it says, Wicked merchandise mistake sends children to graphic unintended website. I guess you could say that. The toy line for the Universal film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical Wicked has released in stores. The packaging for Wicked movie dolls products aimed at children includes a website URL for the movie's name. However, this isn't the website for the big budget musical film. Rather, it connects to a not so safe for work lewd entertainment website. And you can see here in this photo that we have from Drama Alert that this was the packaging. So definitely was on there. I don't know if this was in the parks being sold, but this was merchandise out there on, I'm assuming places like Target and Walmart and other places like that sell toys. The Wicked movie doll line produced by Mattel and released ahead of the film's November 22nd debut appears to have suffered from a major typo that has put a gateway to adult material in the hands of children. Universal and Mattel have yet to issue a statement on the matter, but it would appear as though they intended to include the URL wickedmovie.com, which is the official website for the film. Not only does this constitute a major ethical concern and cast a veil of controversy around the long-awaited film, it could also lead to legal issues for both Universal and Mattel. I would probably assume so. Using another company's website URL on official merchandise could constitute trademark infringement. And this particular true if the URL is closely associated with the trademark owner's brand identity, as is the case for the not at all related to the movie Wicked website. The mistaken site is known as the platform that, they go on to talk about that other website, which we're not going to get into. The major issue will likely have a major impact on Mattel or on the Mattel organization. Before release, the Wicked movie dolls would have had to pass through multiple departments, including legal and quality assurance, before ever falling into the hands of consumers. The fact that these dolls made it through so many checkpoints unnoticed raises serious questions about Mattel's commitment to quality assurance and safety. While this has been easily the most controversial issue surrounding the film, it hasn't been the only controversial moment to rear its head as we move toward the big screen release. Cynthia Erivo, an Oscar nominee and longtime Broadway star who will play the main role of Elphaba in the film, has been in the news recently. So, yeah, I have lots of questions. I mean, first off, I will just say, I think when it comes to this is more than likely a Mattel issue. I don't know. I mean, Universal, you're talking about licensing these things out, so I don't believe this was something that necessarily was on Universal's end of things to check. Maybe it was. I don't know. I'm just going off of if it's a licensed thing. Mattel's making the toys. They're the ones that had it in their possession. One would assume perhaps it's mostly on their end of things. Now, I will also say, never underestimate the stupidity of large corporations. There are multiple departments full of probably many redundant jobs that are probably supposed to be in charge of these things, and it slips through the cracks. So I would just say, first off, it could be simply an oversight. And again, don't ever underestimate the stupidity of large corporations. It also doesn't help things given Hollywood's reputation and something like this slipping through. Now, the questions become, was it on purpose? Oh, all this stuff. If you're talking about the probabilities of it being on purpose, I would assume it wasn't on purpose, because you would assume if they were trying to slip something through that they wouldn't blatantly use the website name like this. I would suppose if you were going to slip something through, it would be a URL direct. So if you're talking about wickedmovie.com redirecting to this website, that would be a different topic of conversation. But given the name of the movie, and this is the website name they put on the boxes, I suppose you can make the argument there that it was an oversight and somebody either just wasn't aware of this or they didn't double check it or whatever the case may be. So in terms of it being on purpose, I'm not going to come out and say it was on purpose, but I'm also not going to run to their defense and say, oh, you shouldn't blame them for this. It was a mistake, because this is a really stupid mistake. So both can be true. You can have a stupid mistake happen and one where you also don't sit there and make excuses for them. And again, you're talking about major corporations here, a lot of redundant jobs, a lot of people who are probably half asleep at their desk, not catching something. They just see the movie URL and the website, and they think, okay, whatever, it's the movie name, it's on the website, without double checking it. I suppose it could be somebody that was supposed to check this and they weren't aware of this website. So suppose that really that person was just really innocent in all this and just assuming, oh, well, it's just the website for the movie. So I guess on that end of things, they could have had somebody who was very wholesome in this role who just happened to not check the URL. But either way, not a good look. And especially, like I said, given Hollywood's reputation over the past few years and really how people feel toward them on a lot of things, as there's been many accusations of you talking about the movie industry, the music industry. You do have the Diddy stuff out there and all the other aspects of this. Not a great look. It can easily fuel the further people saying, look, see what they're doing here? Hard to argue against it. But again, I would just say, given the fact that you would assume that this would, I mean, if you're talking about somebody intentionally doing this, one of the assumptions would be that this would get found out. Like somebody is going to find this out. It's on the box. It goes directly to the website. If you were trying to sneak something by, again, you would think like a URL redirect would be the case that they would do there, unless you're talking about somebody who was disgruntled in their job and just decided, hey, let's put this on here because I don't care. Either way, though, not a great look for Mattel, and really through proxy, not a great look for Universal as well. Again, it's hard to know how much Universal played into this, but either way, their name is going to be attached to this because this is their movie that is, licensing out the toy rights to Mattel here. But I suppose this is probably getting yanked off the shelves. Now, I don't know if any of these were sold in the theme parks, as they do have a Wicked-themed store in Universal right now, so I don't know if any of these were sold in the theme parks. If that's the case, that would also not be a great look for Universal as well, but I'm going to assume that all these are going to get pulled off the shelves, and I suppose reproduce these. I don't really know how much toy sales are expecting to get out of this. I also don't think that this is going to help toy sales very much unless people are going to get this and I guess hold on to it to sell it later. I guess, sometimes misprints do end up going for a lot more money individually as collector's items, but at least in terms of toy sales for the movie and the companies, as they probably had to ramp up, production of these, and now they would probably have to go back and redo these. Not a great sign probably for the toy sales of this, but either way, nobody's looking good out of this situation, and yet again, gives plenty of people the ammunition they need to talk about Hollywood being basically kind of dirtbags. Either way, we'll have to wait and see and what else comes of this, what sort of maybe recalls, what other kind of backlash there is for this. I can imagine there's some lawsuits, not only perhaps from Universal to Mattel, but you could have also the other website owners involved in this. Also, you could also have potentially parents suing both Mattel and Universal if this was purchased and it was, the website was visited by children. So this looks like potentially a giant mess for both Universal and Mattel on this, but we'll have to wait and see how all this shakes out. But either way, though, that's going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of theme parks and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about this? And until next time, we will see you later.